Car crashes are some of the most tragic and shocking events on the road. But sometimes, the stories behind them are so horrifying, they feel almost unbelievable. From high-speed collisions to deadly crashes with a twist of fate, these accidents have left the world stunned. In this video, we explore the 7 most terrifying car deaths ever recorded. These cases are far from ordinary accidents. Each one is a reminder of the raw danger that lurks on the roads, where one moment can change everything. And before we dive into today's stories, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more important updates. Porsche crash, fleeing justice. In the dead of night, with the streets of Bellevue silent and empty, a flash of white sped through the city. A Porsche pushed to its limits, racing through intersections, its driver oblivious to the danger ahead. But what happened next shocked everyone. A traffic camera caught the horrifying moment as the car lost control, crashed into a cement barricade, and went airborne. This wasn't your average crash. The driver, 26-year-old Ting Yi, survived, but her passenger, 27-year-old Yabao Liu, wasn't so lucky. His life was brutally cut short in that split second, leaving a community stunned and searching for answers. What went wrong? Police later revealed that the scene was a gruesome one. Yi, who had been drinking that night, allegedly reeked of alcohol when first responders arrived. Court records show Yi was uncooperative with investigators, and worse, she vanished before authorities could get a word out of her. By the time they issued an arrest warrant for vehicular homicide, Yi was already on a plane heading back to China. No one knew how or why she fled, but her escape was swift and silent. To make matters worse, the U.S. has no extradition treaty with China, meaning Yi could be untouchable. Former Washington Governor Gary Locke expressed frustration, but also hope. "The story is not over," he said. "If he ever steps foot in a country that does have an extradition treaty with the U.S., she'll be flagged by Interpol. And if the U.S. government decides to pursue it, she could be brought back to face justice." But for now, the haunting question remains. Will she ever truly pay for what happened on that fateful night in Bellevue? Or will she slip through the cracks of international law, escaping accountability? Deadly car, crash destroys church. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, an ordinary day turned into a nightmare when a car lost control and crashed into a church with brutal force. The vehicle, skidding uncontrollably, barreled through the church's front entrance, shattering the doors and plowing into the building. The crash was so violent that the damage wasn't limited to the building. A life was lost in the wreckage. Witnesses recall hearing the screeching tires and then the deafening crash as the car smashed into the church, leaving a gaping hole in the building's exterior. Inside, the destruction was even worse. Pews, fixtures, and windows were shattered, creating a scene of devastation. The car's impact left an indelible mark on the sacred space, a place that had once been a sanctuary for so many. But the real tragedy wasn't the physical damage alone. The driver, a local resident, was pronounced dead at the scene, leaving friends and family reeling from the sudden loss. Authorities quickly arrived on the scene, trying to piece together what had led to such a deadly and catastrophic event. Was it mechanical failure? A moment of lost control? The investigation continues, but the question lingers in the air. How could something so tragic happen at such a peaceful location? Local authorities and the church's congregation are left to pick up the pieces. As the church begins the long process of repair, the impact of that single crash will be felt for years to come. The memories of this horrifying moment will be forever etched in the minds of those who witnessed it, as they try to understand how a car's deadly skid turned a place of worship into a scene of unimaginable destruction. Deadly collision on Quiet Street. In the dead of night, when most of the neighborhood was asleep, a devastating crash shook a quiet residential street in Greater Manchester. Shocking footage captured the horrifying moment when a car collided head-on with a taxi, sending both vehicles into a frenzy of destruction. The crash was unlike anything the area had seen before. The sound of crunching metal echoed through the still night air, waking neighbors from their slumber to find the aftermath of the collision. The impact was so severe that both vehicles were left mangled, strewn across the street like twisted scrap metal. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but by the time they arrived, the damage had already been done. The aftermath of the crash was catastrophic. For people tragically lost their lives that night, their futures taken in an instant. 5 others were left seriously injured, some with life-threatening wounds. As paramedics worked tirelessly to save those they could, the true scale of the tragedy became apparent. The crash raised immediate questions. What caused such a deadly collision on a normally quiet street? Police launched a full investigation, piecing together witness statements and gathering evidence from the wreckage. Was it speeding, a lapse in judgment, or perhaps something more sinister? In the wake of the disaster, the community is left in shock and mourning. The lives of those lost and injured will never be the same. And as the investigation continues, the search for answers will be long and difficult, but the memories of that fateful night will linger in the minds of everyone who heard the crash and saw the wreckage left behind. Truck flips, bursts into flames. It's the kind of crash that no one could have anticipated. Gene Wheeler's truck was seen flipping off an expressway, tumbling through the air before landing upside down, its fuel tank bursting into flames in an instant. The scene was nothing short of terrifying. According to police reports, the crash was caused by a violent collision between Wheeler's truck and another vehicle, a momentary lapse in control that spiraled out of control in the blink of an eye. The truck veered off the side of the road and was sent flying through the air, flipping over and landing with a deafening crash. The sheer force of the impact caused the truck to explode into flames, lighting up the night sky. Eyewitnesses described a chilling sight as the truck landed upside down, completely engulfed in fire. First responders arrived quickly, working to put out the inferno and search for survivors. The explosion was so intense, it left many in disbelief that anyone could survive. But against all odds, Gene Wheeler miraculously survived the crash. Though severely injured, her resilience shone through as she managed to survive one of the most dangerous accidents imaginable. Authorities were left stunned by the severity of the crash and the rare chance of survival. The investigation is ongoing, but authorities are focusing on the cause of the collision that led to the truck's deadly trajectory. Was it a mechanical failure? Was the other driver at fault? The answers remain unclear as they piece together the tragic details of the crash. This crash serves as a harsh reminder of the unpredictable nature of the roads, and just how quickly a normal day can turn into a life-or-death moment. If you haven't already, give this video a like and subscribe for more content on safety, real-life incidents, and how to protect yourself and others on the road. Flying tire causes violent collision. Imagine cruising down the freeway, minding your own business, when disaster strikes without warning. That's exactly what happened on the 118 East in Chatsworth when a massive 25-pound tire, ripped off the front wheel of a Chevy truck, came hurtling across lanes, crashing into a Kia with terrifying force. Captured by a Tesla's dashcam, the footage shows the Kia spiraling through the air after being slammed by the tire. It's a shocking sight. One moment the car is driving smoothly, and the next it's airborne. The tire continued its destructive path, bouncing across the freeway and striking the Kia again, creating a scene of chaos on the road. Miraculously, the 29-year-old driver of the Kia, despite the violent impact, survived with minor injuries, managing to walk away from her totaled car. The person in the passenger seat, thankfully, was wearing their seatbelt and only complained of pain. It was a stroke of luck that saved them from something far worse. The California Highway Patrol, CHP, quickly launched an investigation, focusing on the Chevy truck's tires and modifications. They want to know when the truck was last serviced and what, if anything, could have caused this tire to break free so violently. Could a modification be to blame, or was it just a failure waiting to happen? While it's unclear whether either driver was speeding or reckless, the truck's driver, a 24-year-old from Canoga Park, may face criminal charges for their role in this wild and dangerous incident. The crash serves as a stark reminder of how quickly things can go from calm to catastrophic on the road, and how crucial safety measures, like seatbelts, can make the difference between life and death. Deadly fiery crash claims 6 lives. In a devastating incident at a Los Angeles intersection, tragedy struck when a fiery crash claimed the lives of at least 6 people, including a pregnant woman, her unborn child, and a 1-year-old baby boy. The horror unfolded when a woman driving a Mercedes ran a red light and collided with several vehicles, causing an explosion of flames that consumed the intersection. Witnesses were left stunned as the car raced through the red light at high speed, slamming into other cars with brutal force. The violent crash sent shockwaves through the community, as the wreckage was so severe that the once bustling intersection was quickly reduced to a charred scene of destruction. Among the victims were a pregnant woman and her unborn child, both of whom tragically lost their lives in the collision. A 1-year-old baby boy was also killed, adding to the heartbreak that rippled through the community. First responders arrived at the scene, but the damage had already been done. Lives were lost, and many more were forever changed. The driver of the Mercedes, a 40-year-old woman, survived the crash. However, police reports revealed that she had been drinking and had argued with her boyfriend before the crash. It's believed that this heated argument and her impaired state contributed to her reckless decision to speed through the red light, ultimately causing the catastrophic crash. The incident is now under investigation as police work to determine the exact sequence of events that led to such a deadly outcome. While the driver survived, her actions have left a wake of destruction, grief, and a community forever scarred by this avoidable tragedy. Commuter train collision kills 5. A tragic collision between a commuter train and a car along U.S. Route 20 has left 5 people dead, with authorities still piecing together the horrifying details. The crash, which occurred overnight, has shocked the local community as emergency responders rushed to the scene. As video footage from the incident shows, the wreckage of the car was towed away, but the full extent of the tragedy remains unclear. It's unknown if all of the fatalities were in the car or if some were caused by the impact from the train. What's certain is that the crash's aftermath was catastrophic, and the community is reeling from the loss of life. A neighbor, who was just finishing a shower when the crash occurred, described the impact as incredibly loud, rattling the area. "I didn't think much of it first, but it was really loud," he said, clearly shaken by the sudden, violent noise. The area had experienced frequent traffic, but this was nothing like the usual sounds of the street. The crash was so forceful that it echoed through the neighborhood, leaving residents stunned and wondering about the details of what had just happened. While the names and ages of the victims have yet to be released, police are still in the process of contacting families. The investigation into what led to this deadly crash continues as authorities work to determine whether human error or another factor caused the train and car to collide in such a devastating manner. This tragic incident serves as a reminder of how quickly things can change in an instant, and the loss of life from this collision will be felt deeply by both the victims' families and the local community. Key takeaways: staying safe on the roads. Accidents like the one we've just seen serve as stark reminders of the unpredictable nature of life and the dangers that can arise when we least expect them. While we can't prevent every tragedy, there are important lessons we can learn to help keep ourselves and others safe. First and foremost, staying alert is crucial. The moments leading up to an accident can unfold in the blink of an eye. Whether you're behind the wheel or near train tracks, it's vital to remain aware of your surroundings at all times. Distractions, whether from your phone or just losing focus for a second, can have deadly consequences. Another critical point to remember is the importance of respecting traffic signals. Running a red light may seem like a minor decision, but it's one of the most preventable causes of crashes. It might feel like you're in a rush or that there's no one around, but stopping at those signals can save a life, yours or someone else's. It's a simple act that can make all the difference. We also need to be mindful of weather conditions. Rain, fog, or any kind of bad weather can make the road slippery and harder to navigate. When visibility is low, it's essential to slow down, maintain a safe distance, and approach every intersection with extra caution. What might seem like a slight inconvenience can lead to something much worse if we're not careful. Lastly, never drive under the influence. Whether it's alcohol or any other substance, driving impaired can severely impair your judgment and reaction time. If you ever feel uncertain about your ability to drive, always opt for a safer alternative, whether calling a cab or asking a friend for a ride. No destination is worth risking your life or someone else's. While we can't control everything around us, we do have control over our actions. Each of us has a responsibility to make the road safer for everyone, not just ourselves. Let's keep safety at the forefront of our minds every time we get behind the wheel. Accidents like these remind us how quickly things can change. Stay alert, stay safe, and always make the right choice behind the wheel. If you found this story impactful, please share it to raise awareness.